and the masters of the universe. I am Adam, Prince of Eternia and defender of the secrets of Castle Grayskull. This is Cringer, my fearless friend. Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said, "By the power of Grayskull!" Cringer became the mighty Battle Cat, and I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Only 3 others share this secret. Our friends, the Sorceress, Man-at-Arms, and Orko. Together we defend Castle Grayskull from the evil forces of Skeletor.
What is going on YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and today I'm going to show you guys Wave 2 of the Masters of the Universe Origin collection. If anybody doesn't know, this is a new retail wave of Masters of the Universe. I have a video that I put out of the first wave, which consisted of 6 figures and 2 kind of vehicle/play sets. This is Wave 2. At the sneak peek of my last video, I showed you guys 2 of those figures that had come in the mail for briefly. I'm happy to say I got the other 2 figures in the mail this weekend, and I couldn't wait to jump on and show you guys what they look like. So for the entire Wave 2, we have Orko, Scareglow, Trapjaw, and Many Faces. Now, I don't know about you guys, but me being a huge Masters of the Universe fan, I was happy to see some of my favorites come out in Wave 2, Trapjaw and Many Faces being those 2 figures. Of course, I loved all of them, but I'm happy to finally see them come out back to retail stores, and they kind of look like the originals as well, which really makes me happy. I know there's been other lines like the Classics line, the Super 7 line. I actually really like. They're more of like the filmation from the cartoon, but the Classics I'm not too thrilled with. More of an anime look or a reimagining of sorts of these figures. So to me, the fact that they're re-releasing these in retail and they kind of really resemble the originals really make me happy. So let's get right into it, and let me show you guys Wave 2. First up in Wave 2 is the classic character Orko. Orko was also one of my favorite characters from the Masters of the Universe line. Unfortunately, back then, the vintage figure, there wasn't a lot you could do with him. If anybody remembers, he came with like a plastic cord which you put through the figure, and you'd pull it and he'd spin around for a little bit until he flopped over. To me, that wasn't exactly what I wanted from the character itself. It was a neat, idea back then, but he wouldn't sit upright, he wouldn't display right, and he was hard to play with, because of that. The new Origins figure kind of gives you a new lease on this character. The look of him itself is classic Orko, more of the filmation version than the actual vintage figure version. The colors pop, the orange of the hat compared to the red of the sweater is a little bit more accurate to the original cartoon. What I really love about this figure is the fact that it comes with a display stand. Like I said before, it was very hard to display the original vintage figure because of his action feature. This has almost like a purple cloud base with a clear stand that actually displays this figure beautifully. And of course, compared to the old vintage figure, you could check out the eyes. The eyes are a lot more expressive, a lot more accurate in my opinion. The vintage figure came with almost like what they called a magic trick, which unfortunately does not come with the new Origins figure. But regardless, the figure itself came out a lot better than the original, and the same cards are used as compared to Wave 1. A little bit flimsy, a little bit easy to crease, which unfortunately for mint on card collectors kind of sucks. But either way, I'm happy to see this character and these vintage line come back to retail. Next up is a fan favorite, Scareglow. To me, he wasn't one of my favorite characters growing up. He was kind of later on in the Masters of Universe line, in the vintage line. But I will say this, Mattel did an amazing job of almost recreating this character specifically for the Origins line, meaning that he almost looks identical to the original vintage figure. There are subtle differences here or there. There's a little bit of red in Scareglow's eyes as opposed to the original. The dark portions on his body are a little darker and the skin itself is a little lighter. I don't know if that's because of the new technology they have to make these glow-in-the-dark figures nowadays, but either way, as you see, compared side by side, they're almost identical. The cloth on Scareglow's cape is a little bit more nylon-y as compared to the cottony feel of the vintage figure, but other than that, the cards are almost identical. There's just a little bit of a difference with that Scareglow picture in the upper right-hand corner, but other than that, Mattel did an amazing job of recreating this character. Next up in Wave 2 of this line is one of my personal favorites, Manny Faces. To me, he not only has an amazing name, but also the playability of this character kind of never got old for me. One of my all-time favorites growing up as a kid. Anybody not familiar, he actually has 3 faces you could change out between the robot, the human, and the monster face. So he was a good guy, but he could turn bad in kind of a moment's notice. Compared to the original vintage figure, his skin tone is a little bit lighter than the original vintage character, but other than that, all the colors remain the same. As you can see on the old card, some would come with a monster face, some would come with a robot face, and some would even come with a human face. And now my card comes with the robot face, but I've seen some of them out there. They do come with their faces kind of changed out. So anybody who's like an avid collector who wants to have all 3, with some searching, it is possible. Like I said, comes in the original card, reminiscent to the vintage days, new for 20, retro play. To me, the one thing about this character, I kind of wish they gave him like another weapon. While his gun is cool and they do have the gun appearing with this new origin figure, I kind of wish they gave him something else to go along with the figure. The last figure for Wave 2 is Trapjaw. Trapjaw, also being a fan favorite, comes in his classic blue skin, black armor with the black interchangeable arm pieces. All 3 pieces come with this figure, and again, Mattel did an amazing job of kind of reminiscing the original vintage figure. To me, they have the classic jaw action of Trapjaw. Unfortunately, it is not spring-loaded like the original vintage figure, but nonetheless, the paint job on this figure and the colors are nice and bright. The helmet is actually a lot brighter than the vintage figure from what I can recall. I'm going to throw up the other vintage figure side by side so you guys can kind of see it. It's a little bit lighter, allows for the greens and the pinks to kind of pop more. But other than that, an amazing looking paint job, throwback to the classic character. He again was one of my favorite characters in the cartoon. Dumb as rocks, just like Beastman, just like Merman and some of Skeletor's henchmen. But I'm happy they put this character into Wave 2. Now that we have all together, I think we have 10 characters for between Wave 1 and Wave 2, that being He-Man, Skeletor, Beastman, Teela, Man-at-Arms, Scareglow, Orko, Trapjaw, Manny Faces, and I'm forgetting a few, Teela and Evil Lyn, of course. How could I forget those two? So to me, this has been an amazing line, Wave 2. The one complaint I do have is from Walmart. If you did not pre-order these figures when they first came out, you're getting kind of the restock that Walmart has been throwing up to their online store, and a lot of them have come in, as you can see, with bent corners, creasing in the card, bending in the card. Some of them have come unpunched, which is nice, but other than that, they're not mint on card like we collectors like. Walmart does a terrible job of packing their stuff and sending it out. A few of them I did get on eBay, and they're kind of like the same thing, so I'm assuming they purchased them the same way, and they weren't pre-ordered. If Wave 3 drops on a pre-order, I suggest you guys jump on it immediately. It took me a little bit once Wave 2 came out. I did not pre-order it. They kind of went live like a day in advance, and I was able to snatch up some of the figures as they came up for sale, so I was happy about that. But keep your eyes peeled out for Wave 3. They will be dropping soon. I know they just hit Germany. They just hit overseas, and that includes She-Ra, believe it or not, Merman, Roboto, and I think Zodak. So that is Wave 3, and then we get some deluxe figures that are mixed in with that as well. So that's it for Wave 2, guys. I hope you enjoyed this quick video. Any Masters of the Universe fans out there, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of the figures down in the comments. Like always, like this video if you like it. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and I'll talk to you guys soon.